Hi there, this is Be in the Know, brought to you by OWI and Tail, and I have Phil Windley with me. Phil, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Phil, you've been working in identity for a while, and you're working in one of the hottest topics. I am a firm believer that my data belongs to me, but my question to you is, what is self-sovereign identity in layman terms for those people that have no idea what it is?
I think self-sovereign identity is about borders. Right? When we talk about sovereignty, sovereignty implies that there's a border. And it doesn't imply that you have 100% control, because to do that you'd have to be a person on a desert island. What it means is that there's a border, and within which you have complete control over what happens, and outside of which you interact with with other people and other organizations as peers. And both of those are important. Right? We all want to have more control over how data about us is used, but we also, in today's internet, don't interact with companies, especially, as peers.
It's their rules, not my rule. I get asked to give all the information, which to me is where's that equation of how much do I give for what do I get in return here?
Yeah, that's not a peer relationship. In a peer relationship, there's a negotiation, there's a give and take, right? And you both have rights and decide what's going to happen. So I think that's what self-sovereign identity is about.
And when you think about the sort of fear, a lot of the times we hear self-sovereign identity connected to blockchain. Is that a must or a synonym for you? Because for me, it sure isn't.
Yeah, I don't call it blockchain identity. I think blockchain provides us with some particular properties which are important, especially the decentralization. But for example, self-sovereign identity shouldn't ever store identity data on the blockchain, because that isn't a good way for to get privacy or security.
Yeah, so immutable and everybody can see and consensus. Kind of concerning.
Yeah, but it is a great way to be able to break the circuit. So let's say that you have a credential, maybe it's your driver's license, and you present it to someone. You don't want whoever you present it to have to talk to the driver's license bureau to determine whether or not it's real, because there are privacy concerns with that.
Of course.
So the blockchain allows you to have a circuit breaker that says, okay, now I can just ask the blockchain not go back to the driver's license bureau. But that's a very small part of a very large idea.
So you're going to be asked by Steve some more interesting facts about self-sovereign. But a question that often lies with me in terms of literacy. Do you think that people wake up, we live in a little bit of a bubble, identity geeks? Do you think the average person understands what is their data? Do you think that there is a conscious understanding of my self-curated data on my social channel versus a piece of my identity given to me by the government? Where do you think we are in that sort of journey of education?
Yeah, I think what's interesting is in the physical world, people have a very clear idea about this. So they don't think about it as identity. And in fact, in self-sovereign identity, I think it's interesting that there's no artifact that's called an identity. There are relationships and there are credentials. And people understand relationships and people understand credentials. And so if I ask somebody about, where would they use their driver's license, they understand that. Where would they use the title to their car? They understand that. So it's really about things that people already understand, relationships and credentials, and just bringing the capabilities that those have in the physical world online so that we can do the same thing online that we do offline.
And do you think that there would be, who do you think is best suited to provide such infrastructure for a self-sovereign identity world to exist effectively?
I think it has to be a system like the internet. Right? I like to think of it as the internet for identity. Okay. If you think about what makes the internet special, nobody owns it, anybody can use it, and everybody can improve it. And those three properties have to exist in a self-sovereign identity system as well. Because if somebody owns it and they can turn it off or change how it works, then you don't really have a system you can trust. And it has to be open, it has to be public. Anybody ought to be able to use it. And, it ought to be something that everybody feels like they can build on top of and provide a solution that is relevant to them. The world is a vast, people are amazing. They do all of these different things. And you can't imagine that somebody or something is going to build the thing that everybody solves everybody's problems. Instead, you have to build what I call a meta system that everybody can build their own identity solutions on top of.
Yeah, and then that's where the challenge begins. I feel like there's like very little lack of interoperability in most of the point solutions being seen in identity today. So I could talk to you for probably a few hours about this. So we'll wrap it up now and stay tuned. And if you haven't registered for OWI yet, please do. Phil will be having a lot more interesting conversations. You might be able to catch him after. Thanks for joining me, Phil, and we'll see you and stay on the know.